Welcome to my Pilates on the foam roller class. I'm going to do this class on a full circular foam roller, but if you only have access to a half roller, that's also fine too. You might find that is a little easier for your stability because you will be able to turn it flat side down to make it a little bit less challenging on that balance and then turn it over at a later stage. You might also find this a little bit more comfortable on your back if you have any back issues where this might press into your spine. Also, feel free at any time to fold up a towel and place it along the edge of your roller to give it a little bit more padding. Just don't wrap it around because that's going to defeat the purpose a little bit by stopping the roller from rolling. I will give you cues at different times through this class as to when to turn your roller over if you are using a half roller. You also have the option of using some little hand weights, or you can do all the arm work without weights at all. So let's place the roller on the floor. If you're using your half roller, you want flat side down. I'm going to use my weights under my hands so that I can really focus on pushing them forward, but if that's too unstable, place fingertips on the floor. We want the elbows off. First, we're going to just make sure we find our neutral spine on the roller. It's great feedback because it's quite firm. Okay, so we're going to make sure that our back is not arched too much. We're going to do a little tuck under of our bottoms and we're going to reach towards the ankles or the calves and stretch and lower that down. From that position, I should feel the weight right in the center of my pelvis, through my sacrum, from between that sort of pubic bone and belly button area, that middle area between my hip bones, so that just that center of the pelvis there. My hip bones and pubic bone are level, and they're feeling really nice and open, almost like I'm feeling like I'm draping something over my hips and letting them hang down there. So I'm long through my waist, open through the pelvis to help me connect through the back of the pelvis there. Alright, so I want to make sure also my ribs don't flare out. I want to feel that my spine between my ribs, so from my shoulder blades down to that bra strap area, are on the roller. Little tip, don't wear tops or bras with a clip at the back because it can get quite uncomfortable and might make you want to lift off, so you're not going to get that nice position. If you feel like your head is tipping back a lot, small rolled up towel will work there as well. I want to make sure that my shoulders are not rounding forward. I want to feel shoulder tip to shoulder tip is nice and open across my collarbones. So I want to make sure my arms don't round forward. I'm going to feel this little wrapping, like my t-shirt sleeve is wrapping under my armpits. So my hips and my collarbones are creating a lovely frame for me on this roller, while my spine stays in that neutral position with a slight natural curve in the lower back. We're going to do a couple of breaths. We're going to reach the hands forward as far as possible, getting that wrapping under the armpits, elbows off the floor, and we take a nice big breath in, spine long. As we breathe out, we're going to zip up from that pelvic floor, squeezing through the inner thighs, feel that waist narrow, feel like you're buttoning all the way up under the ribs there. The rollers are fantastic to sit on for a number of reasons, partly because we can really feel where our sitting bones are, so we can feel that we're sitting right on the base of that pelvic bowl, so we can get a nice neutral pelvis and sit up very straight. So rather than sitting back on your bottom, you want to make sure you sit or slouching back on the backside. You want to push your butt back over the roller and make sure you're sitting up onto the front of those sitting bones. The other thing it's great for is tight hamstrings because it's raising us up off the floor and it's changing that angle between the body and the legs. So it makes it much easier to sit up straight. If you still can't keep the legs out straight by raising yourself up this high and making sure your spine is really long, then bend your legs a little, push through your heels, so you push and you get this lift up through the pelvis and out of the lower back. If that's still really hard for you to sit up straight without slouching, so imagining you've got like a little lumbar support in your chair, so you feel that lift up out of that lower back, you can cross your legs. We're moving along to some back extension work where we're going to be lying on our stomachs. If you were using a half roller as opposed to a full roller, These swimming pool noodles, which are the thicker ones, are a great option for this next exercise. If you don't have one of those either, you can just trace your fingers along the floor. If you're finding you're sticking it all or you're getting carpet burn, maybe try putting a pair of socks on or using a little plastic picnic plate underneath your hands. We're going to do a little preparation exercise just to feel what the arms want to be doing when we're lying down. So if we bring our arms up, just making sure that we're not flaring the ribs down. So if we bring our arms up, just making sure we're not flaring our ribs. I just want to make sure that my chin is not dropping forward and that my arms are not behind me. They can be slightly forward. So it looks like this. It's a shrug, but my shoulder blades are sliding up and down my back. So as I push my hands to the ceiling, I allow my shoulder blades to come up, and I'm going to turn my palms to face forward, or when I'm on my stomach, it will be to the floor. And I'm going to reach through my little fingers. So I feel this lift up through the outside line of my body. Then I'm going to turn my arms. So I'm going to turn not from my hand, but from under my shoulder blade. So like I'm trying to turn my bicep and think of squeezing under my armpit to pull the shoulder blade down. So we go up on the breath in, and I reach through my fingers. I'm not scrunching in, but I'm going to reach longer through that whole side of my body, reaching through the little fingers. My shoulder blades have come up. And then as I exhale, I'm going to zip up through my tummy, and I'm going to draw the shoulder blades down as I get a little tucking under my armpits. I'll show you from the back. So, in this lifted position, as I shrug my shoulder blades up, I'm going to push my fingers to the ceiling. Keep going with me a little bit more here. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulder blades down the back. So what we don't want is this movement here. And it's not a pinching, it's feeling the shoulder blade come up and then slide down. Up and then sliding down as I turn my arm, and I feel that connection down from the bottom of my shoulder blade. And I'm trying to. So we're going to bring the roller between our ankles. We're going to squeeze it and feel like we're trying to lift it up off the floor. We're going to take a nice big breath in. As we exhale, we roll down from the top of the head. Soften your knees if you need. Make sure they point over the second and third toes. Rolling all the way down. Take a nice big breath in there. As you breathe out, squeeze and lift that roller a teeny bit as you stack your spine, coming all the way up to standing. Inhaling at the top, and then exhaling, rolling down. So your top of your head wants to lead. You're going to let the head and arms hang. I'm going to really keep my hips above my roller and lift up through my abdominals. You don't have to touch the floor. We're trying to feel like we're hanging over the fence using the abdominals to support us. Take a big breath in. Exhale, really squeeze and lift and stack your spine all the way up. Nice long neck, relaxing the shoulders.